Welcome everyone. This is the Wakened by Yahuwah, Almighty Yahusha Messiah Assembly. Brother Doug. We have a new brother with us today, Antonio. And we have the rest of our group, Dennis, Brother Dennis, Sister Shoshana, Sister Sally with us. And so now we are going to be going into the last two chapters of 3rd Ezra today. We're going to be trying to finish it on Shabbat night here. So I'm going to be starting the reading off chapter 8 of 3rd Ezra. If you have the Septuagint, it would be known as 1st Ezra. So I'm going to be reading chapter 8, starting at verse 1. So let me just mute everyone else so you guys can hear me clearly. All right, so here we go. Chapter 8 of 3rd Ezra, 1st Ezra. After these things, when Artaxerxes, the king of the Persians, was reigning, Ezra came, the son of Sariah, son of Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Shallum, son of Zadok, son of Ahitub, son of Amariah, son of Uzi, son of Buki, son of Abishua, son of, or it should actually be Abishah, in the Paleo, son of Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra came up from Babylon as a scribe, skilled in the law of Moshe, the law of Yahuwah. So basically, the commandments of Yahuwah, which was given by the Elohim of Yashraal, Yahuwah. And the king showed him honor, for he found favor or mercy before the king in all his requests. There came up with him to Jerusalem some of the people of Yashraal, some of the priests and Levites and temple singers and gatekeepers and temple servants. In the 7th year of the reign of Artaxerxes, in the 5th month, this was the king's 7th year, for they left Babylon on the new moon of the 1st month and arrived in Jerusalem on the new moon of the 5th month. Interesting. And for people that might be a little confused, basically where we get the English word month from comes from moon. So tomato, tomato, month, moon, same thing. By the prosperous journey which Yahuwah gave them, for Ezra possessed great knowledge, so that he omitted nothing from the law of Yahuwah or the commandments, but taught all Yashrael, all the ordinances and judgments. That's very important. He did not diminish anything from the law. The following is a copy of the written commission from Artaxerxes the king, which was delivered to Ezra the priest and reader of the law of Yahuwah. King Artaxerxes, to Ezra the priest and reader of the law of Yahuwah, greeting. In accordance with my gracious decision, I have given orders that those of the Yahudi nation of the priests and the Levites and others in our realm who freely choose to do so may go with you to Jerusalem. Let as many as are so disposed, therefore, depart with you, as I and the 7 friends who are my counselors have decided, in order to look into matters in Yehuda and in Jerusalem, in accordance with what is in the law of Yahuwah, and to carry to Jerusalem, the gifts for Yahuwah, Yahuwah of Yashraal, which I and my friends have vowed, and to collect for Yahuwah in Jerusalem all the gold and silver that may be found in the country of Babylonia, or Chaldea in other translations, together with what is given by the nation for the temple of their master, which is in Jerusalem, both gold and silver for bulls and rams and lambs, and what goes with them, so as to offer sacrifices upon the altar of their master, which is in Jerusalem, or Yerushalayim, and whatever you and your brothers are minded to do with the gold, the silver, perform it in accordance with the will of your Elohim, and deliver the set apart vessels of Yahuwah, which are given you for use of the temple of your Elohim, which is in Jerusalem, and whatever else occurs to you as necessary for the temple of your Elohim, you may provide out of the royal treasury. And I, Artaxerxes the king, have commanded the treasurers of Syria and Phoenicia that whatever Ezra the priest and the reader of the law of the Most High Elohim sends for, they shall take care to give him. Up to 100 talents of silver, and likewise up to 100 cores of wheat, 100 baths of wine, and a salt in abundance. Let all things prescribed in the law of Yahuwah be scrupulously fulfilled, basically carefully fulfilled, for the Most High Elohim, so that wrath may not come upon the kingdom of the king and his sons. You are also informed that no tribute or any other tax is to be laid on any of the priests or Levites or temple singers or gatekeepers or temple servants or persons employed in this temple, and that no one has authority to impose any tax upon them. And you, Ezra, according to the knowledge of Yahuwah, appoint judges and just and right ruling to rightly rule all those who know the law of your Elohim throughout all Syria and Phoenicia, and those who do not know it you shall teach. And all who transgress the law of your Elohim, or the law of the kingdom, shall be strictly punished, whether by death or some other punishment, either fine or imprisonment. Barak be Yahuwah alone, who put this into the heart of the king, so esteem his house which is in Jerusalem, and who honored me in the sight of the king, and his counselors, and all his friends and nobles. I was encouraged by the help of Yahuwah, my Elohim, and gathered men from Yashreel to go up. With these are the principal men according to their fathers' houses and their groups, who went up with me from Babylon in the reign of Artaxerxes the king. Of the sons of Phinehas, Gershom; of the sons of Ithamar, Gamaal; of the sons of David, Hattush the son of Shechaniah; of the sons of Parush, Zechariah, and with him 150 men enrolled; of the sons of Pahath Moab, and Eliahonai the son of Zarahiah, and with him 200 men; of the sons of Zatu, Shechaniah, and the son of Yahaziel, and with him 300 men; of the sons of Adin, Obad, the son of Yohanan, or Yuchanan, and with him 250 men; of the sons of Alam, Yeshaiah, and the son of Gothaliah, and with him 70 men; of the sons of Shephatiah, Zariah, the son of Mikael, and with him 70 men; of the sons of Joab, Obadiah, the son of Yahiel, and with him 212 men; of the sons of Bani, Shalomith, and the son of Yusifia, and with him 160 men; of the sons of Babai, Zechariah, son of Babai, and with him 78 men. Alright, my bad about that. I read a little too far. Whoever would like to carry on from verse 38, I'm going to unmute everyone. Whoever would like to continue.
I'll go for it. Just bear with me as far as the names go.
Yeah.
All right.
I know they're difficult.
All right. All right. So verse 38. Of the sons of Azgad, Yahuchanan, son of Hakatan, and with him 110 men. Of the sons of Adonikam, the last, and these are the names of them: Eliphel, Yael, and Shemaiah, and with them 70 men. Of the sons of Bigvai, Uthai the son of Zabud, and with him 70 men. And these I gathered together to the river called Ahava, where we pitched our tents 3 days, and then I surveyed them. But when I had found there none of the priests and Levim, they sent I unto Eleazar and Ariel and Shammai and Elnathan and Shammai and Yard. I'm sorry.
Mashulam. I think it's Mashulam.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Nathan, Jonathan, Zechariah, and Meshulam, principal men, and learned. And I bade them that they should go unto Iddo the captain, who was in the place of the treasury, and commanded them that they should speak unto Iddo, and to his brethren, and to the treasurers in that place, to send us such men as might execute the priest's office in the house of Yahuwah. And by the mighty hand of our Adonai, they brought unto us skillful men of the sons of Machli, the son of Levi, the son of Yasharal, Sherebiah, and his sons and his brethren who were 18. And Chashaviah, and Bani, and Yeshaiah, his brother, of the sons of Merari, and their sons were 20 men. And of the servants of the temple, whom David had ordained, and the principal men for the service of the Levine, to wit, the servants of the temple 220, the catalogue of whose names were showed. And there I vowed a fast unto the young men before Adonai, to desire of him a prosperous journey both for us and them that were with us, for our children and for the cattle. For I was ashamed to ask the king footmen and horses and conduct for safeguard against our adversaries. For we had said unto the king that the power of Yahuwah Elohim should be with them that seek him, to support them in all ways. And again we besought our Adonai as touching these things, and found him favorable unto us. Then I separated 12 of the chiefs of priests, Sherebiah, I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that name, man.
Well, the English is Hashabiah.
Hashabiah, and 10 men of their brethren with them. And I weighed them, the gold and the silver, and the holy vessels of the house of our Adonai, which the king and his council, and the princess, and all Yasharel had given. And when I had weighed it, I delivered unto them 650 talents of silver, and silver vessels of 100 talents, and 100 talents of gold, and 20 golden vessels, and 12 vessels of brass, and even of fine brass, glittering like gold. And I said unto them, both ye are holy unto Yahuwah, and the vessels are holy, and the gold and the silver is a vow unto Yahuwah, Yahuwah of our fathers. Watch ye, and keep them till ye deliver them to the chief of the priests and Levim, and to the principal men of the families of Yasharel in Jerusalem, into the chambers of the house of Elohim. Keep going.
Hold on. I know obviously this is a confusion with the translation because he didn't restore it fully. whenever if you see holy in any translation you're reading from, the correct English word would have been set apart. So just for like future reference, it's not a big deal. Just for future reference.
Yeah.
But I know the Sefer does that a lot of times. He'll keep like Catholic terminology in there. So let's see. I think actually we'll give Dennis, if, let me unmute you and you could actually pick up at, verse 61, I believe.
60? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So the priests and the Levites who had received the silver and the gold and the vessels brought them into Jerusalem, into the temple of Yahusha. And from the river Theres we departed the 12th day of the first month and came to Jerusalem by the mighty hand of our master Yahusha, which was with us. And from the beginning of our journey, Yahusha delivered us from every enemy. And so we came to Jerusalem. And when we had been there 3 days, the gold and the silver that was weighed was delivered in the house of our master Yahusha on the 4th day unto Marmoth, the priest, the son of Uri. And with him was Eleazar, the son of Phinehas. And with them were Josabad, the son of Yesu, Moab, the son of Sheben, Levites, all was delivered them by number and weight, and all the weight of them was written up the same hour. Moreover, they that were come out of the captivity offered offerings unto Yahusha, Elohim Yisrael, even 12 bullocks for all Yisrael, fourscore and 16 rams, threescore and 12 lambs, goats of a peace offering, 12, all of them of offering to Yahusha. And they delivered the king's commandments unto the king's stewards and to the governors of Syria and Phinehas. And they honored the people in the temple of Yahuwah. Now when these things were done, the rulers came unto me and said, the nation of Yisrael, the princes, the priests, and Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor... Uh-oh, I lost it.
All right. I see where your place was. It was at 69. You were at the people of Yisrael, and the leaders and the priests and the Levites had not put away from themselves the alien peoples, I believe it should say there, of the land and their pollutions.
Yeah, what I did when I was moving the page down, I hit the little page tab that stuck out, and it zoomed me about 20 pages ahead.
Oh, all right. Let me see here. If you want, I can pick up from where you left off. There's only about 25, 30 verses. Since I'm here already. See here. The Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Edomites. Interesting. So I guess this is talking about the Nephilim here, most of them, except for the Egyptians and the Edomites. So, for they and their sons have married the daughters of these people, and the set-apart race or ethnicity has been mixed with the alien peoples of the lands. And from the beginning of this matter, the leaders and nobles have been sharing in this lawlessness. As soon as I heard these things, I rent my garments and my set-apart mantle and pulled out hair from the head and beard and sat down in anxiety and grief. And all who were ever moved at the word of Yahuwah of Yisrael gathered round me as I mounted over this lawlessness, and I sat grief-stricken until the evening sacrifice. Then I rose from my fast with my garments and my set-apart mantle rent, and kneeling down and stretching forth my hands to Yahuwah, I said, O Yahuwah, I am ashamed and confounded before your face, for our transgressions have risen higher than our heads, and our mistakes have mounted up to heaven from the time of our fathers, and we are in great transgression to this day. Because of our transgressions and the transgressions of our fathers, we with our brothers and our kings and our priests were given over to the kings of the earth. Interesting. To the sword and captivity and plundering and the shame until this day. And now in some measure mercy has come to us from you, O Yahuwah, to lead to us a root and a name in your set-apart place, and to uncover a light for us in the house of Yahuwah our Elohim, and to give us food in the time of our servitude. Even our bondage were not forsaken by our Yahuwah, but he brought us into mercy with the kings of the Persians, so that they have given us food, and esteemed the temple of our Yahuwah, and raised Sion from desolation to give us a stronghold in Yehuda and Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. And now, O Yahuwah, what shall we say when we have these things? For we have transgressed your commandments, which you did give by your servants the prophets, saying, the land which you are entering to take possession of it, as it is a land polluted with the pollution of the aliens of the land, and they have filled it with their uncleanness. Therefore, do not give your daughters in marriage to their sons, and do not take their daughters for your sons, and do not seek ever to have peace with them, in order that you may be strong and eat two things of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. And all that has happened to us has come about because of your wicked deeds and our great transgressions. For you, O Yahuwah, did lift the burden of our transgressions and give us such a root as this. But we turned back again to transgress your law by mixing with the uncleanness of the peoples of the land. Was you not angry enough with us to destroy us without leaving a root or seed or name? O Yahuwah of Yashrael, you are true, for we are left as a root to this day. Now, before I believe I'm going to let our sister Sally, she's going to finish this chapter. There's only 6 verses left. I just want to explain this to people, that this might be a foreign thing about the Torah does say for them not to marry into those peoples. Like, a lot of those nations, mind you, were giants. They were abominations. So it would be kind of the same same thing Yahuwah looked at his own angels coming down to the daughters of men in Genesis 6. So in the same way, it's a same type of sin. So we are not to be mixing ourselves with hybrids. We are not to be doing stuff like that. And the only thing that's questionable about this is that it seems like Ezra is praying to Yahuwah even that they've transgressed by marrying into the Egyptians and Edomites. So it's very possible the Egyptians and Edomites might have been mixed too, and might have had Nephilim DNA in their ethnicity. We know Esau had Canaanite wives, which the Edomites come from Esau. So that's what I believe the context of this commandment actually is. It's not that you can't marry another ethnicity. It's the fact that these other quote-unquote peoples that they married into were not humans. They were not 100% human. So I just wanted to put that to actually give that context for the viewers and listeners. So I'm going to see if Sister Sally would like to finish it for us. Hey, Sister Sally, would you like to read the last part of this chapter?
No, I just want it. No, I won't be able to read it right now. I'm having trouble with my PDF file.
Oh, okay. That's all right. All right, that's fine. I'll finish it. It's not that many verses. All right.
I apologize.
No need to apologize. It's not your fault. There's always stuff with technology. So, all right, here we go. Verse 90. Behold, we are now before you in our lawlessnesses, for we can no longer stand in your presence because of these things. While Ezra was praying and making him confession, weeping and lying upon the ground before the temple, There gathered about him a very strong throng from Jerusalem, men and women and youths. From there was great weeping among the multitude. Then Shechaniah, the son of Yachiel, one of the men of Yashrael, called out and said to Ezra, "We have transgressed against Yahuwah and have married foreign women from the peoples of the land. But even now there is hope for Yashrael. Let us make an oath to Yahuwah about this, that we will put away all our foreign wives with their children, as seems to you and to all who obey the law of Yahuwah. Arise and take action, for it is your task, and we are with you to take strong measures." Then Ezra arose and had the leaders of the priests and the Levites and all the people, all of Yashrael, take oath that they would do this, and they took the oath. That is the end of chapter 8. So again, the context, I believe, and I think all my brothers and sisters here would have to agree, is that to be putting away children that they had with these wives, I would think these are not humans. These, I'll let Sister Shoshana, if she wants to speak on it, I'll unmute her here. See if she has anything to say. Trying to unmute her, but it's not doing anything. This is weird. Okay, Sister Shoshana has muted herself. I guess she needs to unmute herself.
I'm trying to say that I was totally sure. Yes, they back then there were a lot of people who were Edomites and Canaanites and other tribes that were not pure. And these people were eventually, Yahuwah told them to just take them all out. And unfortunately, Yisrael did not quite fulfill that. They took most of them out, but some were still left behind. And this is why we still have a problem today. But yeah, they were not fully human, and it's sad that this happened, that the Malachim came down and took our women and had offspring that were giants and had a third DNA strand that human beings do not have. And Yahuwah did not want that third DNA strand to come among his people, because it's not how he made us. And there's a lot of stuff about that. Anthony Patch has loads of material on it. I was just listening to one of them today, and there are other people that talk about it too. Steve Quayle has a lot of stuff on it, and who the tribes were that were mixed breed. So when he did that, when Yahuwah said, kill all the men and women and children, he was not ordering this massacre lightly. It was to get rid of an impure race that was not fully human. They should not have been. And that's what I wanted to say about that.
110% agreed. And I know some people don't believe what we believe about it, that they believe that some of the tribes could have been human. The only thing I'm going to say to people that believe that is that then you have to accept that Yahuwah does random acts of genocide. The only other option is that he is prejudiced and he has random acts of genocide, which I don't believe Yahuwah is. So if he's a righteous Elohim and he's saying to them with one tribe, spare people, spare the men, women, and children, he's not going to say kill all of them to another tribe just because they're a different ethnicity. Yahuwah is not a prejudiced Elohim. So that's something I would like to present to people that don't accept the Nephilim view of the inhabitants of Canaan. Or they have a half and half view. They believe some tribes were giants and some tribes weren't. The only problem with that theory, like I just said, is you're going to have a problem where Yahuwah is showing partiality to one tribe and the other tribe he's saying utterly destroyed. So, you know, I personally believe what Rob Skiba believes, that that the ones that were spared were human. The tribes that the women and children were spared, and they took stuff under the ban. Like, you can read this in the book of Deuteronomy and all through the Torah. There was tribes spared. But the ones in Canaan, when they first got to Canaan, like all the ites, most of those ites were giants.
Amorites,
yeah,
Edomites,
Hittite. So that's just something I want to explain to people, because I know some people take this whole portion of this chapter a whole nother way. And they'll be like, see, we're only supposed to marry natural-born Israelite with natural-born Israelite. I think, I could be wrong, Sister Shoshana, but in Judaism, wouldn't they take this to mean, like, that they can't marry a like, if someone's Ashkenazi-born, they can't marry someone that's not their ethnicity? Do they take it that way in Judaism? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not from Judaism, although I am a Yahudi, as far as my bloodline goes through Yehuda and his son Zerah. But what they believe is you should keep the tribe of Yehuda pure. And all the other tribes were kept pure as well. This is from way back in the days of Masha. I mean, they were separated into tribes. You had Yehuda, and you had Ephraim, and you had all the other tribes, Naphtali and Gad, and so and so and so and so. 12 of them, and they each had a separate territory, and generally they married into the same tribe. Sometimes a woman would marry into another tribe of Israel, but as long as you kept it within Yisrael, I think that was okay.
Yeah, as long as you were like Hebrew. As long as you were of the belief, you know, kind of how Paul talks about, don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. What share does Messiah have with Belial, meaning Baal? You know, so as long as, I think it was always about, you know, it was always about who you worshipped with marriage with Yahuwah. When it referred to human beings. Now, I just want people to understand the difference. When it's a human being, Yahuwah doesn't have a problem as long as they're of the same belief and they worship him. That's his main problem. With King Solomon, it wasn't just, even though he did marry giants, if you look at the, you know, women from giant lineages, because he married, I think, a Hittite woman. He was marrying all over, so he
Solomon had 1,000 women, and he disobeyed Yahuwah by following these women and doing their religious sacrifices and so on, and he was punished greatly for it.
Yep. Actually, Yahuwah defended Masha's wife, who she was not Hebrew by ethnicity. She was a Midianite woman.
Giant either.
Yeah. Yeah, the point I was trying to make was that though she technically was not of the same ethnicity as Masha, and Yahuwah actually defended her when Miriam, Masha's sister, was looking down upon her. Miriam and Aaron were both looking down upon her, and Yahuwah defended, Masha's wife, who was, a Midianite woman. She wasn't any of the tribes that they had at that point. She had no ethnicity to any of those tribes. So
I think they said he had married if I'm not mistaken, what was the tribe? It was help me. The tribe exists today in the African countries.
Oh, Ethiopian? Yeah, I heard that supposedly she was Ethiopian, yeah. I know that Scripture says she was Midianite. I know that for a fact. The big book of Exodus says that.
Perhaps he had a second wife. I don't know. I just remember it said that he had.
Yeah, I know for a fact she was she was definitely not the physical seed of Abraham. I know for a fact. She was not physically one of his children. She was.
She very well could have been through Solomon, because Solomon had a Ethiopian wife.
Well, the only problem is though we're talking about before Solomon. We're talking about Masha, Moses. At that time, there was no mixture with Ethiopians with the Hebrews. There would have been.
I think the fact is, as long as that person is teachable and follows the laws of Yahuwah, Yahuwah has no problem with who you marry.
Yep. The only reason I used that was to prove to people that say it's all about ethnicity that it's not all about ethnicity, because Yahuwah had no problem with Masha having a wife that was not from his actual lineage, from his actual ethnicity. So, and Yahuwah was fine with it. It was all about whether she would worship Yahuwah or not, whether she was pagan or not. And that's what Paul always talks about in the New Testament. So it's the same thing. It's the fact of not having a pagan spouse, when it comes to human beings. But this chapter had a lot of them were giant. A lot of their lineages were most likely, from the Nephilim. These were like hybrid women that the men married. So
I would say Solomon had a lot of those, which became a problem later on.
It became a problem for Yahusha to come from that tribe of Judah, that tribe of Yehuda. He had Tamar is the reason that it was okay. It was still salvaged because Yahuwah allowed Tamar to do what she did in the book of Genesis, and that basically saved Yahusha's lineage, because actually Yahusha doesn't come from Solomon's side. He comes from the other side of David. And actually they would have had to worry about the person Yehuda, because the person Yehuda, where the tribe of Yehuda comes from, he had like all Canaanite women. Yeah. And so Tamar was what Rob Skiba likes to call Operation Leverage. Tamar pretty much saved the lineage of yours, Shoshana, and pretty much the whole Yahudim ethnicity.
Actually, our lineage comes through it comes through one of her sons. You're correct. Our lineage comes through Sarah, and Yahusha's lineage comes through the other child of hers, which is Perez. So there's Perez and there's Zerah, and Zerah was to be born first. They had a red string tied around his arm, and he pulled it back in, and then Peretz was born first, and so they called it a breach because the one that was to be firstborn ended up being secondborn. I digress.
Wow. That's a genealogy lesson for a whole nother day.
Yeah, that's another.
All right, so I think.
And I want to say that I apologize for not being on camera right now because I've been sick, and just pray for me because I have hepatitis and it's a pretty bad disease. I'm not feeling well. It's something I had in my youth and it came back.
Yes, any brothers and sisters in Yahusha and Yahuwah watching right now, which this will be on YouTube by tomorrow. So anyone watching, please lift Sister Shoshana up in your prayers. We humbly ask you guys to lift her up in your prayers. So if any of our brothers and sisters of Yahusha and Yahuwah see this, I would like them to do that. I was going to say we have one more chapter left in this book, in this particular book. So I'm trying to see 55 verses here. So I'm trying to see how I could break this up. Maybe me and Antonio could split this chapter up if he's up to it. Let me just unmute him.
No, I don't mind at all.
All right. Okay. So what I'll do is there's 55 here. So I'll do verses 1 to 30, and you can pick up and take the rest. All right. Okay, so let me start here, and verses 1 to 30. All right. Here we go. So chapter 9, this is the last chapter of 3rd Ezra, also known as 1st Esdra. Here we go. Then Ezra rose up and went from the court of the temple to the chamber of Yahuhanan, the son of Eliashib, and spent the night there. And he did not eat bread or drink water, for he was mourning over the great lawlessnesses of the multitude. Wow. So he fasted. And a proclamation was made throughout Yehuda and Jerusalem to all who had returned from the captivity, that they should assemble at Jerusalem, and that if any did not meet there within 2 or 3 days in accordance with the decision of the ruling elders, their cattle should be seized for the sacrifice, and the men themselves expelled from the multitude of those who had returned from the captivity. All right, here we go. And then the men of the tribe of Yehuda and Benjamin assembled at Jerusalem within 3 days. This was the 9th month, on the 20th day of the month, and all the multitude sat in the open square before the temple, shivering because of the bad weather that had prevailed. Then Ezra rose and said to them, "You have broken the law and married foreign women, and have increased the sin of Yashraal. Now then, make confession and give esteem to Yahuwah, the Elohim of our fathers, and do his will. Separate yourselves from the peoples of the land and from your foreign wives." Then all the multitude shouted and said with a loud voice, "We will do as you have said, but the multitude is great, and it is winter, and we are not able to stand in the open air. This is not a work we can do in 1 day or 2, for we have transgressed too much in these things. So let the leaders of the multitude stay, and let all those in our settlements who have foreign wives come at the time appointed, with the elders and judges of each place, until we are freed from the wrath of Yahuwah over this matter. Jonathan, the son of Asahel, and Yaziah, the son of Tikva, undertook the matter on the terms, and Mashullah and Levi and Shabbathai served with them as judges. And those who had returned from the captivity acted in accordance with all this. Ezra the priest chose for himself the leading men of their fathers' houses, and all of them by name. And on the new moon of the 10th month they began their sessions to investigate the matter, and the causes of the men who had foreign wives were brought to an end by the new moon of the 1st month. Of the priests who were brought in and found to have foreign wives were of the sons of Yahusha, son of Jehozadak, and his brothers. So that's interesting. This is the guy that prophetically in Zechariah 6 shows the prophetic name of the Messiah, Yahusha, son of Jehozadak, the high priest. Zechariah 6:11 and 12. You'll see Yahuwah points to him and says, his name is the branch. So, very interesting that he had to put away a foreign wife. Maaseiah, Eleazar, Yarib, and Yodan, they pledged themselves to put away their wives and to give rams in expiation of their error. Of the sons of Emer, Hananiah, Zebadiah, and Maaseiah, and Shamiah, and Yahiel, and Azariah. Of the sons of Pashur, Elionai, Maaseiah, Ishmael, and Nathanael, Gedaliah, and Alasa. And of the Levites, Yozabad, and Shimei, and Kalai, who was Kalita, and Pathahiah, and Yehuda, and Yonah. And of the temple singers, Eliashib and Zakur. Of the gatekeepers, Shalom and Talam. Of Yashrael, of the sons of Parosh, Ramiah, Zia, Malkiah, Miyamin, and Eleazar, and Asibias, and Baniah, or Benaiah. Of the sons of Alam, Mattaniah, and Zechariah, and Yahiel, and Abdi, and Yaramuf, and Eliyahu. Of the sons of Zatu, Elionai, Eliashib, Athoniah, Yaramuf, and Zabad, and Zardiah. Of the sons of Babai, Yahunan, or Yahuhanan, and Hananiah, and Zabdi, and Amathis. Of the sons of Bani, Mashulam, and Maluk, Adiah, Yashub, and Shial, and Yaramuf. And that is the end of verse 30. Antonio, if you could pick up the rest.
All right, verse 31. And of the sons of Arai, Adnah, Masayah, Lakum, Benaiah, and Mataniah, and Batzalal, Benui, and Manasseh. And of the sons of I'm sorry, that name kind of gets me.
Yeah, sure. It's Saspel. I guess you would pronounce it Saspel.
Saspel. Eliahunai, and Yeshayahu, and Malachi, and Shemaiah, and Shimon. Kosem, I'm stuck here too, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Hashum, I believe. Are you at verse 33?
I just got into it. Yeah. And of the sons of Hashum,
Yep.
Ma'anai.
This is another difficult one, especially in the Hebrew. So it's matata, I guess is the English version.
All right. And Zavad. Eliphele and Menashah and Shammai. And of the sons of Manoi, Yermiah, Madai, Amram, Uel, Benaiah, and Bedaiah, and Vanya, Meremoth, and Eliashiv. Sorry, that name again.
Let's see here. I think you were at Eliashib and then Macnadebai. Okay, so Macnadebai.
Macnadebai and Matanai, Yasu, Banai, Benoi, Shemai, Shelemiah, Nathan, and of the sons of Macnadebai, Shashai, Sharai, Azarel, Shalom, Amariah, Joseph, and of the sons of Nebu, I'm sorry, that one again?
So the sons of Nabu, Matithia,
Zavad, Yedu, Yoel, Benaiah, and all these had taken foreign women, and they put them away with their children. And the priests and Levi, and that were of Yasharah, dwelt in Jerusalem, and in the country in the first day of the 7th month. So the children of Yasharah were in their habitations. And the whole multitude came together with one accord into the broad place of the holy porch toward the east. And they spoke unto Ezra the priest and reader, that he would bring the law of Moshe that was given of Yahuwah Elohim of Yasharah. So Ezra the chief priest brought the the law unto the whole multitude from man to woman, and to all the priests to hear law in the first day of the 7th month. And he read in the broad court before the holy porch from morning unto midday, before both men and women. And the multitude gave heed unto the Torah. And Ezra, the priest and reader of the Torah, stood up upon the pulpit of wood, which was made for that purpose. And there stood up by him Mattiah, Shema, Cananiah, Azariah, Uriah,
Hezekiah.
Ezekiah, and Masiah upon the right hand, and upon his left hand stood Padon, Mishael, Malchiah, Chashum, and Chashvadna. Then took Ezra the sefer of the Torah before the multitude, for he sat honorably in the first place in the sight of them all. And when he opened the law, they stood all straight up. So Ezra blessed Yahuwah, the Elohim, saith both El Shaddai. And all the people answered, Amen. And lifting up their hands, they fell to the ground and worshipped Yahuwah. And Yahusha, Banai, Sherivia, Yamin, Akub, Shabbatai, Hodiah, Masiah, and Kelita, Azariah, and Yosavad, and Kenaniah, Peliah, and the Levine taught the Torah of Yahuwah, making them withal to understand it. Then spoke Tershatha unto Ezra the chief priest and reader, and to the Levine that taught the multitude, even to all, saying, This day is holy unto Yahuwah. For they all wept when they heard the Torah. Go then and eat the fat. Go then and eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send part to them that have nothing. For this day is set apart unto Yahuwah. And be not sorrowful, for Yahuwah will bring you to honor. So the Levine published all things to the people, saying, This day is set apart to Yahuwah. Be not sorrowful. Then went they their way, everyone to eat and drink and make merry, and to give part to them that had nothing, and to make great cheer, because they understood the words wherein they were instructed, and for which they had been assembled.
All right, so
I'm sorry with the confusion of the names.
oh no,
I'll try to get a hold of your PDF, so it's
yeah,
simpler.
it's definitely easier in the English, definitely. And I don't know exactly whether the Sefer uses all Paleo pronunciations or not. So I'm pretty sure there's a mixture of like the ah versus the pronunciation.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot of it.
Doesn't make it easy at all.
Hebrew names are difficult the way they're written in the Sefer, because Stephen Pidgeon does it in the more Catholic way, and I don't agree with that. It has E's instead of A's and Z's instead of B's, so it makes it that more difficult to pronounce, and it's just difficult. But you got through it.
Yeah, that was great. So pretty much, so for everyone viewing and listening, so pretty much these two chapters were mainly about the commandment Yahuwah commanded Yashrael not to make covenants with the people that they were to inherit way back when in the Torah. So this is kind of the repercussion here. Yahuwah still had mercy on them. And kind of towards the end here, we get a great feeling of the fact that Yahuwah is going to restore Yashrael. He's going to, especially Yehuda's back in the land. They just before this, a couple chapters earlier, they sacrificed the Passover to Yahuwah in the 14th of the first month. So in context, historically, they're already back in the land. So the Persians, even Yahuwah used the Persians to have his will being fulfilled here with King Cyrus and the other king, what's his name, Darius. So it was very very happy and joyous type of feel I got from this last part of chapter 9.
That we're reading it at this time that they're building what they're calling the third temple as we speak, and they celebrated Hanukkah and rededicated the temple just in the last couple of weeks. So who knows what we have coming up in the spring. They may have the temple completed by then, and we'll be doing Passover. But it's not Yahuwah's temple, so we have to really remind ourselves of this, because this temple is going to be occupied by the anti-Messiah. And everything that Yahuwah is, he is the opposite. And you sure don't want to be deceived by who and what he is.
Yeah, and that's why Yahusha says, you know, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. So for all you out there that have been taught you only need the New Testament, I would strongly suggest you go back to the Tanakh, the Old Testament, because Yahusha constantly points back to the Old Testament prophets that we need to be paying attention. And the fact that the Apocrypha is still valid because the sacrifice Antiochus Epiphanes made in that temple, during the Maccabean period, the Maccabean revolt in the book of Maccabees, they actually called it the abomination of desolation. So it's very important to understand what was the partial fulfillment back then, and that it's going to happen again. As King Solomon says in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, there's nothing new under the sun. So what happened before is what's going to happen again. So it's very important to understand that all Scripture is valid, from Genesis to Revelations, and even books in between that man has taken out, are all valid. So that's just, I wanted to end with that. Brother Dennis, Sister Sally, do you have anything to add? Everyone's unmuted at this point, so you want to add anything?
Yeah, I had a problem with the names too. They've been changed so much, Hellenized, and it's very difficult to know, the name you're saying. I think it's all to disguise, so we can't put things together.
Yeah, we need to have it in the pure original language of the Paleo Hebrew. And
the person I did notice, though, which was interesting to me, was Yahusha, son of Jehozadak, from Zechariah 6. So that was kind of interesting that he had a foreign wife. I never knew that. So he had to repent of that. And he becomes a high priest. So he actually, Yahuwah shows so much mercy to that guy that he's actually prophetically, if you know about the prophecy of the son of Yahuwah's name, comes from that guy, from Yahusha, son of Jehozadak, which he is the high priest at that point. It was prophesied that the person with his name would build the temple of Yahuwah, which hasn't happened yet. And so there was a lot of prophecies to the Messiah, to Yahusha, from him. So I found it pretty interesting that he even messed up with the rest of them. So I just found that pretty interesting. And I think it was a really bad thing too, just the fact that a lot of these guys, it seems like a lot of them were Levites. If you know about the Torah and about how pure the Levitical lineage has to be. Because they have to make sure that you are a physical Levite to be a Levite. So that could have been part of the reason why Yahuwah was so enraged with them doing that. That's just a hypothesis I came across.
Well, I think they found that out. I think they found that out when they had to get Ron Wyatt to bring the so-called priests.
That's exactly where I was going, because those so-called Levites they sent in to get the Ark of the Covenant obviously were not pure Levites, or they were not prayed up to where they were able to have contact with the Ark. Because the minute they came close to it, Yahuwah killed them. or his angel, his messenger.
Wow.
And then Ron Wyatt had to go do the dirty work of pulling the dead bodies out. Sad story in recent history.
Yeah, I think there's another possibility that because they weren't, most of them, I think, as far as I know, there are very few people that claim to be Levites ethnically that are believers in Yahusha. And Paul even says himself that a true Yahudim is one inwardly, not outwardly. And so if you're not a believer in Yahusha, Yahuwah is, not going to look upon you like you're part of his people. So it's very possible that them not accepting Yahusha could have caused that to happen. I don't know. That's just my theory.
I agree with you guys that that is very likely the reason they were killed. Whether they were of the correct lineage is, I don't know. That's only Yahuwah knows. That they did not know Yahusha, and that is important, very important.
Yeah. I can't stress enough how important these two chapters made the law. How many times, I think it at least said multiple times, he did not add to the law.
Yeah.
He was careful to write, and this, I don't know, I may have read this or understood this wrong. It kind of sounds like he was rewriting the Torah, Ezra. And he might have had to I know there's been legends about Ezra and these two books of 3rd and 4th Ezra that he had to rewrite Genesis to I think it's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Numbers. I think he had to rewrite those for some reason. And it seems like it was hinting at that. It was talking about he did not take away any of, he was careful or scrupulous, it said in my version, to not take away from Yahuwah's law. And since he's a scribe, he might have been rewriting the Torah. I don't know, that's just a thought I had. But anyway, I just wanted to thank all of our viewers today, and we are so glad to have our new brother Antonio join us today, and hopefully this message barak to you guys, and that is the correct, barakah is the correct Hebrew word that many people have learned, blessed, the incorrect term blessed. So the correct term is actually barakah, or to be baraked by Yahuwah. So hopefully this message has baraked you today, and hopefully this has encouraged you to read the Apocrypha, and if you have not accepted Yahusha as your personal Savior today, I would encourage you to do that. If you are an atheist and somehow you came by our channel somehow, I would encourage you to read John 3:16 and read that whole chapter in context, and I would pray that you would accept him so that he would renew your mind and that you would be sealed for the day of redemption for his return. His return is soon. So I would pray that, today is better than any day to accept Yahusha, the Son, the only begotten of the Almighty Yahuwah. I wholeheartedly say that, and I just want to thank everyone for joining us, and have a great rest of your Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Right.